Hi guys, welcome back. Today we will add new characters and animate them, and we will see how we can call them in our game. We will continue by adding new characters to our game. In Assets folder I have new characters called Buggy, Chunky, Ghosty, Kibi, Kitty, Muddy and Player. I changed the character's username to Player to be more clean with the who is who. These are just enemies and side characters we will have in the game. As you know, we already made standing and running animations using a for loop. We will add another for loop to change the characters, which will be stored in a list, and then we will choose from the list which player we want to see. First of all, I want to change our character name to Player, and when we do that we also need to fix these other three variables to Player. Now we changed our character to the Player to be more clean. Now I will add another list for loading images. We will load character images and we will need the new list. I will call it character animations, which will be an empty list for now. And we will also need our character types. It will be a list and we will add the characters from our assets, so we can change between the characters just like we did in standing and running. So I will start by the Player. It will be our first character, and I will continue with Buggy. We have Chunky. We have our Ghosty. We have Kibi. We have Kitty. We have Muddy. I know I'm good at naming things, so don't think about it too much. Now we have character types. We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 characters at total for now. And now we need to add another for loop to change between the characters. It will be for character type in character types, so we can change our character. And same as we did before in assets folder, we will not look for character view, but we will look for the character type. So it will automatically look for the character types and changed. Also after this we need another animation list, so we can store the data. As you know, we had a temp list to append the player images. We had an animation list. So we can add our character animations. Now in the first for loop we have character type. We will check for character types and decide which character we want to have. In the second for loop we will check for animation types, which will be standing or running. And in this third for loop we will check for which image, so we will have animation. In the third loop we will add images, the temp list. At the second for loop we will have our animation list appending oops, okay, I made a small mistake. We will have our animated player list in the first for loop. Then we will have our new character animations that will append our animation list. So now we will have 3 layered characters. Let's see if it's working. Of course not, because what we changed is so let's find the problem. Assets, player, standing. Oh, okay, I see. We need to change. It's in our characters folder, so we need to add it too. So in our assets characters folder, we will have our character type, the player, animation type, and it will work. Okay, but now we also need to be able to change which player we will see. And we still have our animated player images, so we will change this to character animations. And of course, if I just call it, it will have problems, so we will need to give it a index, which will be in index 2. We will have our player. And of course, there's another problem in character pi. Why it's unhappy? List index out of range. Let's find the problem on animated player images dot frame index. We will have our animation list that we will. Oh, I see the problem now. I made a naming mistake. Instead of animation list, we will have our animated player images. I don't know why I said animated animation list there. And let's change this name in that case. This we will declare in the for loop, and instead of our animated player images, I want to say animated character images. So we have our character images. It should work fine. Yes, as you can see, we have our player now. If I change the index to 1, we will go to the next character, which will be little buggy. And if I go to the next one, we will have chunky. And as you can see, it seems to work fine. But we don't want to do it like this, so we will give an index to our character class. And now we need to fix the character.py file so we can have the fixed character class. First of all, we're giving it animated player images, but now we will give it character animations. As you can see here, we get character animations, and we will need an index for our character type. And now, because we changed our animated player images, it will be character animations in the index of character type. which will be basically giving character animations index 0. And now we need to add as self that here so it can access the self animated players. And now this should work. Yes, as you can see, now we have our character working, and we also added more characters. If you want to give another variable, let's say 4, in the window we will have our index 4, which will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 Kibi. This is our Kibi character on the index 4. Now we have our fixed main for loading character images, and we also fixed our character class so we can give it which character type we want to display, and we will continue. Now we have our player, little buggy, we have chunky, we have ghosty, we have kibi, we have kitty, and we have muddy. We created a new for loop to show these characters, and they come with the animation. They can stand and run, and everything seems to work fine. See you in the next video.